We get the video package hyping it, which is The Rock versus Steve Austin. It has a very similar feel to their video package for WrestleMania 17, right down to the Limp Bizkit song that they're using to sort of do the hyping for it, although it's just a little bit less impressive, I think, than the WrestleMania 17 one. And then we have the match itself. The match lasts for 18 minutes, and The Rock wins after hitting a third rock bottom to get the victory. Let's start with you, Thomas.
This match is brilliant. This match is my match of the night. I really, really enjoyed it. The match is great. It's got again, like you kind of said, and very much comes into the next match as well. It feels like a big deal. And like you said earlier, old man, this match isn't for anything. It's not for a title. It's not for any other reason, only that I haven't beaten you at WrestleMania and I want to beat you. And so that kind of gives itself its own kind of like myth. Like this is where it sits in the mythology of Stone Cold and The Rock. The match itself is great, but it makes me think, like I've said this to you boys before, but this is the first time I'm going to say it on the podcast. Bret Hart is my favourite wrestler of all time, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is the greatest of all time because he had everything. He had not only the ability to talk, you could say about his matches, post the neck injury not being, technically great, but it doesn't matter because you care about everything. And he was able to adjust his style to be able to adopt in that brawling kind of way. He's so good. He is the best ever, I think.
Can I add to that as well? Because I don't think you can look at who the best ever is without also considering how much of a draw they were. Because ultimately the point of wrestling is to make money and to draw people in by, your characters, your matches, your promos and everything. Not many people have drawn as much money as Steve Austin has. So that also needs to count for him in terms of that measurement.
Definitely. And I also think as well that The Rock Austin is the greatest feud in the WWE, in the history of WWE. You can chuck Austin McMahon in there. It's got to be, but I'm thinking of in terms of like a pure wrestling feud. It's these two. And what I just said about Austin in there is not at all to detract away from what The Rock does in this match as well. The Rock is absolutely phenomenal. His offense, his selling, his little things. There's a bit like where he like recovers from a move. He takes Austin's waistcoat and puts it on, and he's constantly just checking to make sure it's on properly. Do you know what I mean? Like, and these stupid things. He's not playing up to the crowd at all. Or if he is, it's in a like, I'm not interested in you. This is a great match. I don't know where it sits in the Austin Rock canon, but I think it's probably better than their match at 17. And certainly for me, got a more satisfying ending. The fact that it's a clean ending, it's just phenomenal. Everything about this match I loved. And I feel like this is the bit where JR and the King actually do really, really well on commentary. It's the first time that Jerry Lawler isn't completely intolerable in the entire pay-per-view. And JR is just, again, he's got his big match hat on. He's got his big boy pants on in this match, really selling the importance of it. And it's just a phenomenal match. I love the ending. And it also takes on real poignancy in watching it again now, knowing that it is Austin's last match. And I get the impression that The Rock wants to put everything into it, because he obviously knew, didn't he, apparently, that it was his last match. It was only him that really knew. And watching it again, you can kind of tell that he knows that, and he's putting everything into it that he can to give Austin the best match that he can possibly have for his final match.
It's interesting, obviously, from the Shawn Michaels Jericho match, you have certain memories of matches and you're thinking, that's one of the classics. That's one of the WrestleMania classics. And before the show, and I don't know if I'm any different to what I was before the show in terms of this match, I would have told you that this is their weakest. This is the weakest of the Rock Steve Austin trilogy. Now, I'm not certain of that because, as I say, I feel like in the past I've overvalued Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. And I imagine if we were to one day look at those other two matches that they've had at WrestleMania 15 and 17, I might need to revise my opinion on those matches. But just in terms of my memory right now, to your point about you saying you think it's better than WrestleMania 17, this to me was always, in my mind, the weakest of the three. And I didn't see something here whilst I was watching it that changed that opinion. But I still thought it was entirely enjoyable, entirely exciting. I just think they went quite early to the big moves and the false finishes and stuff. Like, it felt like they were doing stunners and rock bottoms and people's elbows from about 6 or 7 minutes in, and then there was like 10, 11 minutes of that stuff. Now, I might be misremembering, but it just felt like they went to the home stretch way before the end of the match, which in the end made me feel a little bit like it was going for epic and didn't quite make it because they over-egged it to me. But that was just my opinion on that side of things.
I think that you've got to take into account Austin's physical condition at this point as well.
Sure,
I think that's probably why they do that. And if you then that was what I read into that as being.
Yeah, and that's probably the case. That is probably the case. The Rock, you're right, was fantastic when he taunting the crowd. Just magnificent in terms of his whole performance. Like, I think it's, again, like it's very easy to forget that stuff in the midst of trying to put on a classic or trying to put on this really important big match where you're expected to deliver real excitement. It's so easy to forget in the heat of the moment to do the stuff that plays to the crowd and winds them up and gets them annoyed with you as the heel because you're pursuing that great match so much. And The Rock doesn't forget. He just does it, delivers it as effortlessly as you might imagine as well.
He wins them over at the end as well.
Does,
but
yeah.
Into the match, the crowd are actually cheering him.
Yeah, and in a way that kind of the opposite to the previous year's WrestleMania against Hogan. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a very good match. Don't get me wrong. I've got basically, I try and mark every match out of 10. I've got 3 matches that were 8 out of 10s, and I've got 3 matches that were 7 out of 10. This is one of the 8 out of 10s. So don't get me wrong. I still think it's a very, very good match. But again, falls short of being absolutely classic. Old man.
I'm kind of halfway between the two of you. I love this. I love watching this, but I loved it because what they do, they just play the hits. That's what they do. They know this is two guys that are so comfortable with each other and playing off of each other that you see nothing in this match that you haven't seen before. But it's just great. It's just nice. And it felt like this is kind of like a torch passing thing from these guys to the rest of the roster, I think. Just kind of saying, right, we're done. Enjoy it. I know The Rock's come back sporadically and he hangs around after this as well, but I feel like this is very much right, this is our last hurrah. Go off and enjoy it. I mean, The Rock's selling is unbelievable. Austin's punches are unbelievable. Austin, and this made me miss Austin because I'll keep saying it, I think, when I talk about match. Like, there's just so much comfort in how they work. Like, they know exactly who they are. They're not trying to impress anyone. They don't need to impress anyone. They're concentrating on entertaining people. They're just trying to give the people what they want. And it's just great fun. And I think that's exactly what I took from it, is that it's great fun. Like, it's just two guys doing what they did one last time. I mean, like, we've kind of touched upon their WrestleMania matches. I actually think their best match is Backlash 1999 after WrestleMania 15, which is just tremendous fun. And I think that's what I think about. Like, there's such intensity to what these guys do when they get together in the ring, but it's all fun. It all feels like they're taking you on a little journey and they're giving you everything they've got, but they're having fun doing it as well, even with the intensity and the story behind it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's Austin's last match. It's The Rock's last featured Rock match at WrestleMania until the Cena matches. I know that he's involved with Mick Foley the following year, but it's a bit of a nothing match on the undercard in fairness, given that it's the Rock and Sock Connections reunion. There's got this weird feeling around this period, and it's one of the reasons why I struggled for a while and ultimately stopped watching wrestling regularly, because I did watch this show live, but there is a feeling that The Rock and Austin accomplished the goal of winning the Monday Night War for WWE and then are almost either pushed or choose to move to the side for everyone else to take over over. And this is kind of the end. This is them saying, right, we're done now. Rock's going off to Hollywood. He's going to still put Goldberg over on the way out, like the true pro that he is. And Austin's lost this match probably simply so that Rock can do that and still maintain the sense that he's important. And Austin will never wrestle again, and because he's injured. And it's just, so there is an emotional side to it. One of the things that I was going to suggest we do was watch the Mania of WrestleMania, which is obviously the documentary that covers this show. It's released on the WrestleMania 20 DVD release, and it's got all the stuff about what you said, old man, about Austin's dehydration the night before in the hotel, and he said he was, determined to have the match no matter what. And it's got a load of stuff also about the next match, which we will come on to. It's a tremendous documentary. Anyone who's not seen it, try your best to find it. I couldn't find it anywhere online. It's not on the WWE Network. I do have the WrestleMania 20 DVD, so I could fish them out and watch it from there, but they're up in the attic. So even that would take a little bit of effort. But if you haven't seen it, try and find a way of seeing it, because in my opinion, best documentary WWE ever made.
It is brilliant. It is brilliant.